Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Season 11, Episode 16, overall 566 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership, located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Automall. Check out their website, barrycullen.com, for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, along with their great selection of all-electric vehicles and Cadillac vehicles as well. You can call the dealership at 519-824-0210 and tell them Chris Palme sent you, or you can email the dealership at info@barrycullen.com. Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership has been family run and operated here in the city of Guelph since 1969, and they have been a major sponsor of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show for the last 3 years. Before we bring on our guests tonight, Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership has had a one day only sale on the Civic Holiday on Monday, August 4th. Massive savings, VIP perks, and limited time offers. After a 5-year break, this one-day sale is back at Barry Cullen Chevrolet this Monday, August 4th. A 24-month prepaid maintenance plan, top dollar trade-in offers, and even snacks and refreshments for the family as well. So if you're looking for a new or a used vehicle, check out Barry Cullen Chevrolet's one-day sale this Monday, August 4th, Civic Holiday sale as well. I hope everyone is doing well on this, I can't believe it's already Thursday, July 31st, 2025. Summer is just flying by, and excited tonight. I have two guests tonight. The first one is a huge Bron Breakker fan, and she's a WWE super fan, and she's been on my show just after WrestleMania 41. Her name is Niki Whitehorse, and my other guest tonight, she has been on my show now 4 times, and she's a terrific, talented stand-up comedian out of the great state of Michigan, as John Mason would say for the Pistons. And she's a huge WWE fan, as well as a huge fan of Mick Foley, Mankind. And her name is Cameron Kay, and we're going to bring them both on, and we're going to talk a little bit about the WWE, the impact of the late Hulk Hogan had on the WWE, and we're going to talk SummerSlam 2025. So I've got two wonderful guests, Niki and Cameron. Thank you so much for coming on tonight for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much for having us, Chris.
Cameron, or Mankind, should I say? How did you come about the mask of Mankind? How did you come about it?
Today it is Womankind, but this was actually the mask that I got in order to first meet Mick Foley 2 years ago at the Motor City Comic-Con convention. I went with my dad and my brother, and we were the three faces of Foley. I obviously was Mankind. I had my brother being Dude Love, and then my dad being Cactus Jack. And I think that we were the only group of 3 that went and got a photo with him that day. And that's how I ended up meeting him. He ended up giving me a signature on the mask here. But it's just, I think I bought it off of a Chinese, star. It took 14 days to get in because I didn't pay for next day shipping, but I was prepared.
Niki, you're a big WWE super fan too, and you have one specific wrestler, Bron Breakker. Tell us a little bit about your story with Bron Breakker.
Yes. Well, I started watching him in 2024, but I was planning on going to WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas, and I wanted to do something fun. So I was just at a store one day at Target, and I saw his jacket, or just a jacket that looked like his jacket. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make his jacket. And I did. My sister-in-law helped me. She painted it, and I wore his jacket to the meet and greet, and we had this viral moment of, him just being absolutely amazed that I was wearing his jacket. And so, yeah, since then, I don't know. I'm just Bron Breakker fan for life.
I want to put you both on the spot here. If Mankind Mick Foley was back in his prime and Bron Breakker as of right now, if they met in the ring, who would win?
Mankind.
Oh, I'm glad she said it first. We were gonna have some words. It's such a different age of wrestling. You know, I would love to see Bron Breakker lay on 1,000 tacks, but I just don't think that we're gonna get that anytime soon.
I think that would be a tremendous match. I really do.
Yeah.
Oh no, I cannot stress how much I want to see Bron Breakker lay on a bunch of tacks, like get thrown off a cage, you know, maybe have a tooth go through the nose, all that stuff. Would love to see it. However,
I think he'll try spearing him a few times, but I mean, it's Mankind. Come on, he'll just get on up. He's fine. He's
Now,
fine.
Cameron, can you show us Mr. Sacco?
I can. This is official tour 40-year of Foley merch off of what he's been doing all this year. But I got the one with the blood already on it.
Nice.
And of course, the have a great day, have a nice day. Sorry. 40 years of Foley tour 2025. It's great.
You should use Mr. Sacco in your comedy act.
I do have a joke about how I would have loved to have brought Mr. Sacco, but I found him underneath my high school brother's bed, and he's kind of stuck at the moment and not having a good time.
Nikki, I know you have Bron's jacket, but do you have any other items of his, or are you working on?
Yeah, I actually got his new action figure. I have like 4 of them now. It's bad.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Which one is your favorite?
Probably one you signed. Yeah. This one.
What's the signature like? Is it a scribble or is it a nice signature?
It's BB.
BB,
Wow.
simple.
BB, but he wrote my name and he got it right. So.
Yeah. When are you guys getting a Chris Pame figure doll?
Right. Well,
Action figure.
when it gets
As soon
released.
as you make them, right? Yeah, as soon as you drop them, we're the first 2 people to buy.
Yeah, then put
Deal.
the signature on it. So.
Deal.
Gotta have the signature punching arm, though. You know, button on the back, a nasty left hook, please.
and we have viewers watching, which is good. Shattered Hawk says love the mask, and another person says love the Lily mask.
Yeah, the Lily mask.
I think they're
So-
probably both about your mask, if I'm being honest.
Anyone watching us live stream right now has comments or questions for Nikki or Cameron or even me, feel free to type your comments in the comments section, as we're just going to talk a little WWE and a little bit about the late Hulk Hogan and preview SummerSlam 25. And let's get to Hulk Hogan, whether you liked him or not as a wrestler. And I know some people at the end didn't like him because of his political views, but Hulk Hogan passed away recently, I think July 24th at the age of 71. He had such a huge impact on sports entertainment and the WWE. And to me, he's like the Babe Ruth of the WWE, or Michael Jordan, just from his impact. And I wanted to get your thoughts, Nikki and Cameron, on Hulk Hogan and the impact he had on the sport.
What if this is how we found out he died? Like we were both in the dark and he just waited a couple days. This would be terrible. But it was, I was actually watching the new Superman movie when I got the news notification, and I was sitting next to my fiance and he leaned over being like, "Hey, Hulk Hogan just died." And I was like, no clue, completely caught off guard, whipped out my phone in a movie theater, which you should never do. But I was just that shocked where I immediately had to go look it up and see the articles myself. I mean, I don't agree with everything that he said, but his wrestling legacy is undeniable and speaks for itself.
Nikki?
Yeah. He was an icon. I'm a child of the 80s and the 90s, and he was just, even if you weren't into wrestling, every kid knew who Hulk Hogan was. It's just like losing G.I. Joe or He-Man, something like that, We all know who Hulk Hogan was. I just remember, I don't know, being in Orlando, and we were trying to find some place to eat lunch at, or breakfast at, and we passed the Hulk Hogan store, and we were like, what is that? And so we pulled over, we got out, the place was closed, it wasn't even open yet, and we're all taking pictures, and I'm like, this is so cool, we have to come back here next time we're in Orlando to check this place out when it's actually open. But yeah, it's just weird because it just feels like an icon. I mean, he was wrestling.
Absolutely. And I'll be honest, I didn't really get into wrestling until I was about 14 or 15, around 1987. And it was because of Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. Andre was 15 years undefeated, and Hogan had held the belt for 3.5 years. And a lot of people thought Andre was going to end Hogan's streak at WrestleMania 3. And that's when I became a WWE wrestling fan, sports entertainment fan, was just before WrestleMania 3 between Hogan and Andre the Giant. And Cameron, you have a little Hogan Andre story to share, don't you?
Yeah, that match happened in Michigan at the Pontiac Silverdome. I was lucky enough to go to a couple of Monster Jam rallies before they knocked it down when I was younger. But my dad was actually there for WrestleMania 3 and got to witness the history. And that story has always been near and dear to our heart. I think what Nikki said about having it be like G.I. Joe is almost the perfect way of saying it, of mourning Hulk Hogan, the fantastical character, and who he was and what that character did. Is something that like we can grieve and we can mourn, and separating it from the things that Terry said,
Right.
Nikki, did you have a favorite Hulk Hogan moment?
During that match, I think, what was it, WrestleMania 18, when he fought the Rock. That was pretty cool. That was probably my favorite match.
He went into that match as the villain, and Rock was babyface. And halfway during that match, he became the babyface, and the Rock became the villain. And Toronto always loved Hogan, even if Hogan was the so-called bad guy. They always loved Hogan, and two of his best matches happened at the Skydome, or now the Rogers Center. WrestleMania 6 against the Ultimate Warrior. For me, that was his best match because that was good guy versus good guy, title for title. And even though I was kind of cheering for the Warrior then, because I was kind of getting a little tired of Hogan, I was shocked that Hogan lost that match. And I do have a regret they never ever had the rematch at WrestleMania 7. I know Hogan and Warrior fought later on in WCW, but that match was awful, and I really would have liked to see Hogan and Warrior in their primes in the WWE. But the Rock match was amazing too, because he came out as a villain and he left during that match as a good guy, and he helped. A lot of guys said Hogan was selfish, but he put a lot of guys over as well. Triple H, The Rock, a number of guys.
Yeah.
I think a part of what made that Ultimate Warrior match so special is the two greatest no-sells in wrestling at that time. That that those whacks on the chest would hurt any person, but they're both just looking each other in the eyes, acting like, oh, they're too good for it, and it made magic.
Absolutely. Do you feel? I want to get both of your opinions. Do you both feel that the WWE in the future going forward will honor Hulk Hogan going forward with some kind of like memorial trophy or some kind of award after Hogan?
I don't necessarily think they should. I once again, the legacy is a one thing, and he, like, the things that he did, but to go as far as to almost rewarding behavior to that, giving him the send off is nice. There's just other maybe more deserving people that we've lost along the way that you don't necessarily maybe get the credit they deserve. I'm talking obviously about Chris Benoit. Just kidding. I just want to see just want to see the faces. But I think, if we were to, let's get a Bray Wyatt match every single year in the dark or something like that. Like there's just other maybe top contenders, but just a personal opinion.
Before we got another viewer here. I want to say thank you to our viewer. By the way, guys, everybody says SummerSlam 88 was the first one with the Mega Powers against DiBiase and Andre the Giant. It was actually the big event in Toronto in 1986 August 1986, Exhibition Stadium, 68,000 fans, and it was Hogan against Paul Orndorff. It wasn't technically called SummerSlam, but that was technically the first SummerSlam. And whether you like Hogan or not, he had such a huge impact on the WWF and the WWE. And who knows what would have happened if it was never Hulk Hogan in the 80s. Our audience, I'm going to let you guys answer this question. He wants to know, I think it's Hawaii or Zaiwa. Okay, or Chan. Okay, I'll just say your last name, Chan. I don't want to pronounce your first name wrong. He wants to know, who do you think will win with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed at SummerSlam? Well, I was going to save this for later, but I'll get your thoughts now, both of you.
This is my boy. So
I know what Nikki's gonna say, but acknowledge him. Acknowledge him.
I do acknowledge him, but I really do see Roman Reigns really putting Bron Breakker over, and I think they're trying to keep Bron Breakker strong. Honestly, I see Seth Rollins returning. I don't see him trying to cash in on the Gunther and the CM Punk match. I see him kind of interfering with this match, though, somehow. I mean, it's Roman Reigns. He hates Roman Reigns more than anything. If he's coming out this match, I think. I think Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed are going to win, unfortunately, and it's going to kind of set up things for Survivor Series.
Yeah, of course I know, you're going to pick Bronson. That's fair. And I do agree with Seth Rollins being able to cash in. I'm very curious. I really thought that it was a work, especially though they had the Liv Morgan injury also within a couple of weeks, where that match ending so abruptly. You've kind of been able to tell, and that's what kind of set me back, being like, are these people really injured? And it wasn't until Becky Lynch posted on her Instagram the picture of Seth in the crutches, where I was like, oh my gosh, it's real. He really does get hurt a lot. And that knee has been bad so many times. So I do hope to see him around. Seth Rollins is one of my favorites. But I would be curious. And yeah, I think that you'll get maybe some more him messing with the ref or doing some more interference in this match as opposed to cashing in another match. That being said, if Roman doesn't win, then why did he just take like 3 months off? What have you been doing since WrestleMania if it hasn't been getting ready to come back? I also just love Jey and Roman teaming up after all the history there and all the fun, the original bloodline, right?
Here's the thought here. So I still think Seth Rollins will show up, but I might be wrong. Let's say he doesn't show up at all. Let's say Bron Breakker takes the money in the briefcase suitcase and cashes in on the winner of Gunther and CM Punk.
Well, he has some explaining to do then when Seth Rollins does return, because that's not his suitcase.
We're leaving out another great possible interference of the match, which is Paul Heyman coming in, and I don't think that Paul Heyman would let him take that case unless if there might be a Paul Heyman betrayal. I'm not saying that, but I don't think it'll be him letting Bronson or Bron take the case. But something.
Here's another possibility too, and I wanted to get your thoughts, Nikki and Cameron. I know Paul Heyman on Monday Night Raw was talking to Jey Uso, telling him Roman Reigns has always lied, his family's always lied to him and stuff like that. Any chance that Jey could turn on Roman Reigns and become part of Paul Heyman's stable?
Isn't it more likely that Paul Heyman is lying and just trying? I think it's more likely that Paul goes back to Roman or something than Jey turning. But another possibility is that we've seen Jimmy kind of be absent and pop up here and there. And when we have it, it could just be the match where they bring in 20 different people on each side, and you might see Jimmy pop in and some more maybe bloodline members on that side in order to accompany Seth and Paul coming out for Bronson and Bron.
We get another viewer, War Thunder Corpse. He wants to know, he's watching on YouTube, by the way. Thank you so much. Who would win between Bron Breakker and Cody Rhodes?
No.
Right. I mean, this one I'll give Bron Breakker. I'm not even the biggest Bron Breakker fan, but Cody Rhodes, Like the story is done, dude. Go home. Story's been over. Bron could shut that book.
Yep. Easily.
Bron, it's just a matter of time before Bron gets gold around his waist, and I do believe he's going to be a baby face again at some point.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. I have a plan. Whenever he gets his next title, I almost did this with Intercontinental, but he did not retain it at WrestleMania. But whenever he gets his next title, I'm getting that title. I'm getting that title. I'm going to get his belts on it, or his plates on it. I want his title.
Speaking of belts and titles, Cameron, I see some in the background.
Nice.
We do. I do have a couple. The one that is directly behind me has Kane's signature on it, Seth Rollins, and Mick Foley's. It is also, that's just a piece of Velcro at the top, and it is just a child's like cheap Walmart belt. But it is my most signed item that I have of anything. Definitely my most precious. And it's so much easier to lug to all the shows than like an actual 20-pound belt. I'll say it. It still fits around my waist. I'll wear it proudly.
Exactly. My thoughts exactly. I have the Intercontinental. It's a toy belt, but it fits me. So
I do have a real belt. Just it's too hard to hang up on the wall. They're heavy.
Which belt do you like the best? I kind of like the Hulk Hogan belt, the winged wheel belt with where Macho Man and Hogan had that belt. I think they kind of switched it over after Stone Cold beat Shawn Michaels. So for me, that's my favorite heavyweight belt.
The autism in me says the spinner belt because I love fidgeting. I've got that one in the reel, and it is so much fun. I just sit there and spin it all the time. But obviously, the fan in me is the Hardcore Legend belt that had the duct tape on it that, you could take any belt, and I was just putting random pieces of duct tape over anything else to make it look like that.
That's awesome. I think mine is the Intercontinental, hands down, just because China had it twice. She had a men's belt twice. That's just too cool to me.
Do you feel she should be in the WWE Hall of Fame for her contributions?
Yes.
Cameron?
Oh, yeah, it's a crime that she's not. Once again, it's insane. Unfair.
Who are some other wrestlers? I want to get your thoughts since we're talking about it, Nikki and Cameron. Who are some other wrestlers that you would like to see go into the WWE Hall of Fame in the future?
In the future? Oh. I mean, if Rey Mysterio, Rey Mysterio did just get in. He kind of got in while he was still wrestling, and that was really cool to see. I'm not sure if we'll get too many of those, so just, and also, I mean, is that all right? Doing it like, do we have to wait for them to die or be done before we can honor them if they're doing it great? Because obviously John Cena has probably done more than some of the people who are in right now. And why can't we do it while he's still on the road? Maybe they'll wait for him to turn to babyface one more time. I'll put it out there. And then they're going to be like, all right, he gets in.
Come on in.
Do you feel his heel turn was handled poorly?
The absence of The Rock. He was controlled by The Rock to do all that to Cody Rhodes, and then we just never heard from it again, and they just kind of changed the story into like, no, actually, I hated the fans the entire time, and they like never mentioned the fact that he was obviously told to do that, which John Cena would never, unless he was told to do that. All right, I stand by he was hypnotized or something.
By the way, I'm friends with Jacques Rougeau, so I'll have to try to get Jacques Rougeau on sometime with you. He's known as the Mountie, the greatest Intercontinental Champion. He held the belt for 2 days, and he was a 3-time tag team champion with the Quebecers. And I think him, Jacques, and Raymond Rougeau, the fabulous Rougeau brothers, I think they should be in the Hall of Fame for their contributions. And Jacques Rougeau was the only Canadian-born wrestler to ever pin Hulk Hogan.
You would. I vote that we should keep him out because he was the only Canadian wrestler to pin Hulk Hogan. I'm just kidding. Right now, Canada's looking better and better every single day. You guys are right across the water.
You're welcome. Yeah. And there's one other question I want to talk to you guys about. Besides, I think Jock and his brother should be in. Do you feel the head shrinker Samu and Fatu should be put into the WWE Hall of Fame, or would you like to see a new head shrinkers team formed by members of the bloodline nowadays.
That'd be cool if they can, bring back a new team to kind of like honor that.
I feel like the bloodline that we have right now hasn't fully, they kind of did drop the ball in a couple of ways. When they were bringing out the entire bloodline, they never really involved Nia Jax, who is a part of the family. It never really made sense. And a bunch of other members as well. I believe Rikishi said on a podcast not too long ago that if the fans started chanting for him back, he would consider it or something crazy. Right. But I think that, Fatu, even right now, while his family is out playing, it's just a wonderful thing. Why not? Like, why are we keeping them out? There's, once again, I don't understand what how they decide. It seems like the number one requirement to getting in right now is just being on good terms with Paul or Vince previously.
Do you feel the WWE should have a permanent Hall of Fame? The Baseball Hall of Fame, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, basketball. Do you feel the WWE should pick a site and that's where their permanent Hall of Fame is? Because I think the WWE fans would travel to wherever that is, and you could have all the artifacts and memorabilia in one area.
I would love that.
The show that they were filming, WWE Most Wanted Treasures, that was on AMC. I can't remember unfortunately what it was on, but the first season was them meeting up with a certain superstar, and going around looking for their items. And then the consequential seasons after that were Mick Foley and Lita kind of leading the charge most of the time and going around and looking for those artifacts. But I believe they said, the point of the show multiple times is that they were going to open up a museum and trying to let those archives be on display and letting people come in and see it. So if that's not in the works, then they lied to us. And we should just go in there and take them back, I guess.
Well, I'm going to put you both on the spot here. What city and what state should have the WWE Permanent Hall of Fame?
I feel like it makes the most sense to say Stamford, Connecticut, due to, the headquarters being there. That's probably where you're going to end up going. I think that if you wanted to go based off of cities that had wrestling history, it'd be really hard to narrow it down. I would like to maybe see Philadelphia just based because of where it is in the middle of kind of everything and being everybody's able to go there. And I know, as you being a huge Eagles fan would probably agree with me if I said Philadelphia. So I'll put that one.
Nikki?
Well, NXT is in Orlando. So I can see Orlando. There's a lot of entertainment things to do in Orlando.
Big tourism.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Connecticut.
Actually, you know what? I tend to agree with you. I think that would make the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a possibility could be Las Vegas because it looks like Vegas is going to be hosting WrestleMania again for the second straight year. And I've been hearing talk that it's going to be a permanent fixture in Vegas.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? I kind of like rotating it and giving every city and state opportunities to host it.
I promised my daughter I was going to take her to the next WrestleMania, that's kind of close to us. And then they said that it's going to be in Vegas again. I'm like, well, I guess you're going next year. So I guess we're going again. And I'm taking my daughter this time. But I'm just kind of sad that, it's not going to be in New Orleans for the people who are looking forward to going to WrestleMania in New Orleans.
Cameron?
Yeah, I would love to see it travel around more. Everybody, should be able to get their shot. And then when history does happen, it's not just in the future. Oh, well, it all happened in Vegas. Like I got my claim to fame with Detroit and the Pontiac Silverdome. Philadelphia has Undertaker versus Mankind. And I think that those matches being so spread across does make them more special for this, for the people who get to view them. And it's not just the same people every single year after year. No offense. I mean, go again.
Being Canadian, I would love to see it back in Toronto. It hasn't been in Toronto in 23 years. WrestleMania 18 was the last time, and Montreal is such a great wrestling city. I'd love to see it there one day. Same with Vancouver. So I kind of would like to. I agree with you both. I like to see it both continue to rotate to different cities because it makes every WrestleMania more special.
John Cena seemed like before he kind of announced his last retirement run was really pushing for it to be across the pond. And I believe they talked about it being in London, or
Yes.
they had the match in Perth, right, and all sorts of things. So hopefully, even one day, I hope they don't abandon that as well, because everybody deserves to have, some WrestleMania moment.
Absolutely.
We get another comment from War Thunder. He wants to know from the both of you which older wrestler could beat Bron Breakker right now.
Any wrestler that at one point had a razor and cut themselves. So almost anybody pre-2007, just about.
Yes, I agree.
It's just a different game. Everybody wants to talk about Michael Jordan versus LeBron, but in reality, if you put LeBron back in that game so many years ago, in the roughness of it and all the different sorts, they're playing at completely different levels and almost completely different games. I do admire Bron Breakker's athleticism, but you had a long point in time. Mick Foley is not a very athletic man. That is not what makes him so great. It was the ability to bleed, to get punched, and to keep on, taking those falls. And I'd love to see some more of that out of Bron, for sure.
Do you see similarities between Bron Breakker now than 20 years ago with the young Brock Lesnar? And do you think it was smart pairing Bron Breakker with Paul Heyman right now?
I think that the draw of Brock Lesnar at the time was the experience that he had. He came in kind of being a UFC fighter, so he already had a reason to be scary. They've really, really been pushing Bron as he's just a genetic athlete. He's just built to be so fast, so big, and so all these other things. I would almost say, or I would love to see Bron in the future teaming up with Chad Gable or somebody that maybe is like more technical and kind of on that skill level set. So then we really get to see kind of that sort of display, or once again, team him up against the White Six and just
cool.
Get dirty with it. Right. And like, see how mean he can get and all sorts of things, but he's got definitely possibilities out there.
Let's just bring Baron Corbin back and just do the Wolf Dogs all over again, because I love the Wolf Dogs.
By the way, there is one match I'd love to see, which will never happen, is Bron Breakker right now, currently, against Kurt Angle in his prime. I think Kirk would win. But I think it would be a tremendous match.
Yes.
And it's just shame that Father Time gets to everybody. It's just Kurt Angle and Bron Breakker. That would have been something special.
I do consider Chad Gable to be the current Kurt Angle. Yeah, a little. I mean, when it comes to the character, and all, and who, like I said, the technicality of their type of wrestling that they bring, where it's a good match without needing everything else, just because they are freaks of athleticism.
Do you both feel Chad Gable should get a little more push?
Yes. I would love to see Chad Gable versus El Americano.
Yes, me too.
Get them in the ring together. Let's see it. I saw a post that said that at this point they need to just start putting everybody behind the mask, every single wrestler, and then at some point just have a Royal Rumble where it is every single wrestler just coming in as the El Grande Americano, until finally Chad Gable does win at the end. But it would be great just to have especially with, once again, the superhero movies right now, everybody doing the alternative universes and that being the popular scheme to go about. I would love to see 40 different or 30 different El Grande Americanos just all wrestling. It'd be great.
Now, I wanted to get you guys' opinion on this too. I'm old school. I kind of like the one-day event. But what do you think of the WWE now switching SummerSlam into a 2-day event instead of one, and having it back at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey?
I love it because it's more wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah, more wrestling, more matches.
Does it draw it out sometimes? Maybe. Mm-hmm. Will I ever complain about more wrestling? Probably not.
Would you two ever get into the ring? Would you try it? Nikki and Cameron, would you try it, going into the ring for a day?
I think I'm more of a street fighter myself, brass knuckles in a dark alley type stuff. But I'll bleed for sure. Let's do it.
Yeah,
like right now, because I'll do.
What kind of wrestler would you be, Nikki?
Oof.
Technical or a brawler like Cameron?
More of a brawler. More of a
Brawler? I was thinking technical. Technical.
I don't know. I really like Ronda Rousey. People call me Ronda Rousey sometimes. I love, like, what's like one of my main comments on my videos, like, is that Ronda Rousey beating Bron Breakker? No. But I don't know. I really like her technical skills. Like, I know she came from UFC. Like her, what was it, the armbar that she does? I love that. I don't know, just more of a brawler, like Shayna Baszler. You know, China a bit, but I just need to get the muscles first.
Now, as female wrestling fans, and you guys both love the WWE, how much has women's wrestling evolved?
Do you want to go first?
I'll go first. Well, it's like I said before, like it's like I've been watching the old episodes of Raw and SmackDown when SmackDown first came out. It's just night and day difference of how they treat women. You know, like some sections I have to just fast forward through because it's just so kind of disturbing. It's like, ugh, do we really have? Okay, it's just night and day. Like, women are getting more respect. You know, it's not about what they're wearing now. It's more of, you know, their skill, which it should be about their skill. It's incredible. I mean, they have their own Royal Rumble. They have their own Elimination Chamber. You know, Revolution was just a few weeks ago. That was incredible.
The evolution of women's wrestling within my lifetime, I feel like the clothing is hard for me to swallow sometimes, because going back and seeing the old lingerie matches, we want to be like, oh, that's so disrespectful. But if you go back and watch them, they're wearing more in those matches than they are currently right now. It's not like we've gotten, you know, better with the fits. I think that just everyone now is wearing a thong underwear, and that's just, you know, it's like that on the beach. So that's just changed drastically. The technicality and the level of skill that we see on the wrestlers, I think, changed also, though, due to a lot of body positivity. China is obviously held as so great in highest regards due to her strength and what she could do. And I don't think you didn't have people that looked like China at that time. But now when you look at Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill, you know, Raquel, like you've got women that can do those moves. I would love to see them start doing more men and women, and give another woman a chance at the title. I'd love to see Rhea Ripley hold a men's title. But I do think that there's multiple people out there right now on the roster that could do it and have that body type, and hopefully we're moving towards that.
War Thunder says he wants to see a Nikki versus Cameron next stream.
Oh. You know what we like, because I've got the WWE 2K25. We could do it. Like we could all go in there and right in the background. I'm sitting in front of my TV Xbox right now. I've been playing my GM and Royal Rumbles.
I'm going to put you both on the spot here. If you can pick only 2 female superstars, which 2 would you pick? Which 2 are the best that you would pick right now?
Like to kill, to kiss?
No,
so what do we?
The 2 best. If you were
just
a
the
manager,
2 best.
The 2
right.
best.
And when you say right now, you mean like what we think right now, or just
currently.
the current rosters?
Yeah.
Okay.
All time China, obviously, but currently.
I said Rhea Ripley. I can lock in number. You know, definitely keep her up. What she's done. The storylines, I loved it all the way back from when she was with Dom, and then her being able to be her own character outside of that and not even need the Judgment Day at all to just do it. She'll be my number 1, and I'll take a minute to think about my number 2.
I really love Lyra Valkyria.
Good choice.
Good choice. Very, very technical. Very technical. Other than that, I'm going to say Lash Legend. I loved watching her in that Battle Royale match at Evolution. And she's on NXT. She's killing it in NXT. I cannot wait until she gets up to the main roster.
What are your thoughts on Charlotte Flair? She's either loved or she's disliked. Do you feel that she is as great as her with all the championships, or do you feel she's a little overrated because of her last name?
She was an amazing wrestler about 4 faces ago. 4 filler, maybe 4 nose jobs ago or whatever. And she did have the technicality. She was definitely, I think, one of the best wrestler on the women's roster for a couple years there, at least for one season. But it seems that she definitely did have a little bit of nepotism to get to where she was. I think that she earned it, but it seems lately that the time that she takes apart from it has been too long for her to get back to the level that it once was. I don't see the same technicality and strength that she once had before. But hopefully, if she can stay uninjured and stay with us, for another year, for long enough, then we can get that back. I would love to see it again. I do. I don't, just the fact that people hate her just because of her dad, which also doesn't make any sense. But at one point, she was definitely a very skillful wrestler. She's the reason why my brother bought the women's belt, actually.
What are your thoughts on maybe next year the WWE has the 2-day SummerSlam, but the first night is all women, and then the second night is all men? Or do you kind of like it the way it is now, kind of mixed up both days?
I would love it. I think that you would end up maybe having a couple or a certain percentage of fans that say, oh, well, I'm just going to skip the women's then and watch the good stuff. And that would, I would very much doubt that the women's wrestling would overcast the men's in ratings. And then I think that would be detrimental to what they're trying to do. So I wouldn't, I would love to see the separation just for like my own personal enjoyment, but I don't think that'd be good for the brands at this current time. They should be like the opposite of having matches with men and women, not separate nights, but including them on the same ring.
Okay. Nikki?
Yeah, I agree. We all saw what happened at Evolution. They really should have broken it up and put it in another town instead of the same town at a smaller venue. It was just strange to me. They could have sold more tickets, but yeah, I think they should just keep it mixed up.
By the way, we have a viewer from Missouri on. His name is George Brown. I met him going to a Toronto Argonauts game here in Canada. He traveled all the way from St. Louis to Toronto for a CFL game. So I want to say hi to George. And George is a huge WWE fan and a Hulkamaniac. And he had his picture taken with Hulk Hogan before he passed away. So I want to say thank you to George for coming on and watching this show tonight. And no matter where you are in the world, wrestling is truly international.
Thank you, George.
What do you both look forward to in terms of the 2-day SummerSlam event?
More wrestling.
Okay, good one. Yes.
Yeah, just the returns. Go ahead.
No, I was like, I just cut you off. I feel like the first time. You're good.
Yeah, just who's going to return. At this point, I still feel like I was stood up by The Rock because he was supposed to come out at WrestleMania and he didn't. I'm always going to be bitter about that. So I don't know. I don't think he's going to come out for SummerSlam. I don't believe it until I see it.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I miss the days of where there was no social media and internet. And when things happen at these pay-per-view, it was shocking because they could keep it quiet. But now with the internet, the website, all these different podcasts, it's very hard to keep something secret from the fans nowadays.
Yeah, it's hard to be a fan. And how often I'm like, oh, I'm missing SmackDown right now. Let me just not go on Instagram now until I can rewatch it tomorrow morning. Or how, you just got to completely avoid Facebook and all these social medias because it's not even fair. It's not. TMZ just posted a spoiler for Happy Gilmore 2. Somebody dies in that movie. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet.
No, I have not.
I won't say it then because it's only been out for less than a week. And when I saw that that was on Instagram, I'd already seen it. But I was like, how is this? How are they not getting in trouble for this? This is a major spoiler to the movie. It's been out for 3 days, so now it's just fair game. It's insane. But if they waited longer than 3 days, then you're missing the story. It's not relevant anymore. So it really is hard to be. You've got half the people that are chronically online and can't. If the news is 8 hours and it's already old news and they've moved on, versus people that have a job and sometimes can't watch it until the next day.
What are your thoughts on Pat McAfee not being back with the WWE, or I guess taking a break from it?
I don't
Gunther
mind.
slaps hard. Yeah. I keep on calling it, or I'll keep on referencing Avengers, because in Avengers Endgame, when they opened up all the portals and it was just nonstop cameo, like that come together moment. You see, I think, a lot of things capitalizing just on that, where instead of now putting in good matches or good storylines or good wrestling, you get a good cameo, and it's kind of just a cheap pop at this point. I think that we'll see a lot more of those. I think that McAfee thought that he was going to get a lot bigger pop maybe than he did. I thought sometimes when I was listening to the commentary with him, you could tell that everybody else kind of knew, or he would occasionally be like, that looked bad, or he wasn't calling what they were supposed to be. And you'd hear like Michael Cole being like, no, they slapped him pretty good. Almost. I picture it as being almost improv, where you're always yes anding. And I think that there were a couple times where he would just, oh yeah, that looked bad. And it's like, no, you're supposed to be the commentator. Like, you have to be selling everything. We might know it's fake, everybody sees it and everything, but you still got to be like, wow, I can't believe he's still standing after that.
What are your thoughts on Michael Cole, and who do you see replacing him in the future?
Oof. I think that they, I guess lately you could see Austin, A-Town Down, and Grayson Waller.
Oh yeah.
They were great. I loved their little like they're douchebags, but the segments that they did were always funny, and they were good on the mic. I think that they've got potential to definitely be on the table in a couple years. When that, there are other people, I'm sure, but I would like to see some commentary out of them. I think that they could be, if they go babyface, then it could be better. But I'd also just love to see that heel just being like, I could do better constantly.
We got Big E.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, scratch what I said. Go Big E.
Big E would be great.
Are you guys still good for a little more time and do some more matches? Are you good, Cameron?
Oh yeah, we got to do. All right, we got to go through them all.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Now, who would make the better play-by-play announcer, yourself or Nikki?
Nikki.
Oh gosh.
Even just I can even just tell, like, you watch more NXT than I do, and I would sometimes, I'm getting the moves down from playing so much Xbox, where it's like, oh yeah, I know that moonsault versus frog splash, like I got the difference down now. But I'm still learning. I think you're a little bit ahead of me still.
Okay. Do we just go over night one?
Well, yeah, we're gonna. I've got the matches.
Okay.
Going on. I wanted to do this one first. We've already talked about Roman and that.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about this one. This one, I'm kind of not sure who's going to win this match. I know Cena's at the end of his career and coming up to it, but I don't think he's going to lose the title just yet. Overall assessment of the rematch between Cena and Rhodes in a street fight, and who do you see winning? And do you expect this matchup to go at least 10 minutes? And do you expect outside interference in this match?
Okay. I kind of went with Rhodes on this one, just because I think Cody Rhodes is going to get it, and then like the next Raw, or it'll actually be the next SmackDown after that, John Cena's going to come and say it's null and void because, I had to sign under duress. And then Cody's going to come back and say, well, you went through the match anyway. It's going to go back and forth, and it's going to be a rematch at Survivor.
I would hate to see John lose any title during his retirement run. I hope, he should get all the titles, give him the women's title for all I care, for all the rest of the matches that he has until the end of the year. But like I've said before, I think that we are going to see one more baby Cena before he is officially done. And I think that maybe him losing the title is also going to lay down the pathway in order for that to happen. Cody could go heel easily tonight as well. They've kind of been teasing that definitely in a couple of different ways. So just the fact that you know that the switch is coming, you could definitely, I think, see a title switch as well.
I don't feel Cena was ever comfortable playing the heel. To me, it's just he was a baby face for 20 years, and I just don't think he was very comfortable doing it. But he did it because he wanted to be, he's a team player and stuff. But I just don't think the heel turn has worked out as well as they thought it could.
I loved the angle that they chose of, I think that very, I think he loves his fans, but I do think that like 5% of fans, probably way more, are very annoying. And you've seen the videos of him, hey man, like, hey, how are you? Ask me for a picture before you walk up to me. So sometimes when he's cutting those promos and he's like, you guys are a bunch of jerks. Like, you guys all just want me to come out here and die for you, and you guys don't actually love me. So like a certain percentage of that is truthful, which is what did make the heel turn so good. In those aspects and some of those promos where I think that, like I said, he can love us, but also definitely be, just kind of tease us a little bit. What I didn't like about most of the heel turn was that the storyline wouldn't work in the arena. I've been to a couple shows this year with John Cena, and they want us to boo him, but it's not. It's every single time he's on it's half John Cena sucks, like John Cena, and even when he's out there, I personally, when I saw him in Grand Rapids, I think in June, and he was like, "You guys suck." I'm like, "Yeah, we do. Like, whatever you want, John." I was all for it, but that was also the John Cena pipe bomb that I was able to witness with my own eyes, and that was an amazing moment. And I was so happy that I got that during his retirement match. But yeah.
Nikki, Nikki? I'm gonna get Nikki's thoughts on this first. What makes a good heel, and then we'll get Cameron's thoughts on that.
What makes a good heel? Well, I think the two biggest heels right now is The Rock and Logan Paul. You just hate them. You hate them as a person and as the wrestling character. You just kind of like Nikki Bella. Let's throw her in there too. I'm not a Nikki Bella fan. You just don't like him as a person and the character.
Cameron?
I agree with the Logan Paul is a great heel right now. I think that the best heel that we've seen within the last couple years is Dominic Mysterio. The run that he's been on, how long he was unable to have a mic in his hand without getting booed. I mean, that's why he always needed the female escort, is because they would not let him talk for so long. The pops that he gets, how much you hate him, and his whole character is whiny, a cheater, but you love him still. It's all about the pops though, and I think that heel that can get you, like I said, if you can't hold a mic and you can't even cut a promo for multiple weeks, then you're doing great heel work.
Yeah, exactly.
The next match I wanted to talk to you guys about is CM Punk against Gunther, who I think is one of the best heels. And the character Gunther has been outstanding the last couple years. And I think if he's not the best heel right now on the roster after Dominic Mysterio, I don't know who is. How do you see this match between CM Punk and Gunther for the World Heavyweight title? Who wins? And do you expect outside interference and possibly Seth Rollins or Bron Breakker using a briefcase to cash in on the winner?
Okay, I see Gunther winning this. I love CM Punk, but there's just not enough push for CM Punk, I think, on this match. Gunther, he broke all of our hearts with Jey Uso. I see him winning, but I do see the Brons interfering with this one. I still don't feel like Seth Rollins. I feel like if Seth Rollins is going to try to cash in, it will be on the John Cena and the Cody Rhodes match instead of the Gunther and CM Punk. It's just too predictable to me. But I do see Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker interfering somehow.
So who do you see winning? Punk winning or Gunther retaining?
I see Gunther retaining.
I also see Gunther retaining, but I think that he made a deal that when nobody else wanted to wrestle Goldberg, and Gunther's like, "Fine, I'll do it," that they did it just in order for let him, be the champion for a little bit longer, and he deserves it. Nobody should have to wrestle that man. That was it's dangerous.
It is dangerous. It is dangerous. It injures people.
So yeah, I say Gunther just because he deserves it.
Right,
yeah. After that Goldberg match, yeah, let Gunther have it another pay-per-view. Yeah. All right, he did us a favor.
I'm gonna go with CM Punk. I think he's gonna get that title, and I think he's gonna keep it until WrestleMania. And I think it's gonna be CM Punk the champion against Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 42.
Ooh.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but I do think CM Punk, his career's coming to an end too. I'm not sure when, but I think he's going to get one more title reign because I think the pop will be huge. So I'm going to go with CM Punk, and I do think there will be some kind of outside interference in this match, and I think it's going to be a terrific match.
The Imperium faction disappearing is, I think, a great tragedy. I loved it. Their entrance that they had was commanding, so cool. Right? Yeah. They had a great thing. It's cool that Gunther is he does hold it on to a certain degree, but I do miss Ludwig and the other one. But I wish that they could have that faction come back, or maybe and they just give them more possibilities with some of the other factions going on as well.
All right, the next match is one I'm looking forward to. Tiffany Stratton against Jade Cargill for the women's championship. Who wins, and how does this match end up?
Speaking of Ludwig, ooh, you do that on purpose?
Yes.
Jade Cargill is a specimen to behold right now. Obviously, that doesn't mean much, It doesn't actually come down to who's stronger at the end of the day. But I would love to see her get something outside of the Naomi and Bianca, kind of where we saw her last. And she's a great champion when she does have it. I love to see her. Tiffany's also, though. This one, either way, is okay with me. They both hold the belt, talk so much smack, and do it so well. I'm good either way.
I'm going to say Jade Cargill. She won Queen of the Ring. I see that they're really pushing her, and I still, to this day, I still think Bianca was in it with Naomi. I really do. So I see Bianca go. If Jade wins it, I see Bianca going against Jade for the belt.
I agree. I do believe Bianca Belair is going to turn heel. Mm-hmm. I do think Cargill's going to win this match, but I don't know how long she's going to hold the title for, because I know she's improved as a wrestler, but Tiffany Stratton has really done a good job being the champion. So I'd like to see Stratton retain the title, but I think you're right. Cargill's getting such a push. I think she'll get the title, but I think Bianca Belair is going to turn heel and take the title from her by Survivor Series, in my opinion.
It's a good one.
All right, on to the next one. Another women's match. Naomi, who's playing the villain well. I didn't care for her when she was a babyface, but now it's like, okay, I like seeing her. She's just doing a terrific job with the character. Versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky, who's now become popular. How do you see this match going? Who wins? And do you see any interference from Belair or another female wrestler?
On this one, I'm going to say Naomi retains. Rhea Ripley was champion. Io Sky has been champion. They both had it a good amount of time, I think. They don't really need a belt, I think, to still be, in the limelight. Naomi, I kind of want to see her hold the championship longer. I don't want her to lose it at SummerSlam after just getting it. But yeah, I see Naomi.
Cameron?
After the Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill beef is now going to come to a fold, I think that they might free up Naomi to then kind of go back to that beef that going to be going up to. Rhea Ripley is, like I said, my number one on the roster right now. But that being said, she doesn't need a belt at any given time. Her matches will always have a good pull and always be entertaining, whether there's a belt on the line or not. So maybe it goes to Io. Io this time. Her technicality right now is definitely something it's great. What she lacks for maybe on the mic does come for when she gets just all the championship belts, and it makes sense. I would love to see her probably get another shot over anybody.
I'm going to go with Naomi to retain the title. I think she'll keep the title until Survivor Series.
Make it a bloodbath. I like that.
All right, we'll get into another women's match. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez versus Charlotte Flair and Bliss for the women's tag team championship. Do we see new tag team championships in Flair and Bliss? And do you feel Liv Morgan could interfere in this match?
Fingers crossed.
You guys decide who wants to go first.
Go ahead, Nikki.
Okay. This one, I'm going to say that Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss are going to win. I still see that somewhere down the line, they're going to just crumble. That's fine. But I see them getting the belts off of Rodriguez and Perez just to, create a reason for Liv to be mad at Roxanne, because I think Roxanne's going to be the one that gets pinned, and she's going to want to get blamed on, and then Liv, I don't know if she's coming out at SummerSlam or the Raw after and be like, hey, like, Raquel was like, you had the belts. Why did you let Roxanne have it? And she lost the belts. It's all her fault. And I can see Dom getting involved. I can see Finn Balor getting all happy about it. Yeah.
I would love to see a Liv Morgan interference of some sort. I would love to see a reappearance from her as well. There's so many different ways that it can go with them. Either she's mad that they retain and then she comes back, and she wants her belt back. But, like, how does that all work? You're right, where she can be mad at either Raquel gets pinned and then she's like, well, I still want, she still has a beef against Roxanne, and everyone's like, no, it doesn't make any sense now. Like, she was the better. There's so many different levels to that. I definitely hope that they bring her back. I loved the team of Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, two opposites, but they work so well together. I think the match itself is going to be super entertaining. And I'll just be waiting to hear Liv Morgan's music the entire time. If Dirty Dom is there as well, that might be the match of the night. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Flair and Bliss as well, and I do think Liv Morgan will cost Rodriguez and Perez the title, and I think Liv Morgan might even turn babyface.
No, not what I'm saying. No, everything else has been really good so far. But Dirty Dom would never.
On to the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch, the defending champ, against the former champ, Valkyria. Does Lyra get her revenge and regain the women's IC bout?
I'm getting kind of tired of the whole Becky and the Lyra and the Bayley. I mean, we've kind of been going at it, like before WrestleMania. So it's like, let's just close this chapter. Let's just close it. Let's open up the Intercontinental Championship for the women to somebody else, some new players. Because I said that, I'm going to have to say I don't like her, but Becky has to win this. I see Bayley interfering somehow, and let's let Becky and Lyra just have their own feud on the side and let Becky and someone else start feuding for the title.
Cameron?
I've been anti-Becky ever since she came out and had her own book on her dress and all, like, the wording. It's been the fits that Becky and Seth have. I follow their stylist on Instagram. Like, I'm so into how they dress. And when she came out like that, she hasn't been good since. I'll say it. I read the book. It wasn't even that good. And I've kind of had maybe a bit of a personal vendetta against, like I even mentioned earlier, I still follow Becky on Instagram as well. But I think I just have a little bit of a personal vendetta against her lately. And I would, she could just get taken down a couple pegs. She keeps on just running. Hopefully we get a Bayley interference. I think that could bring a couple of things. As you said, we've seen this match so many times. So if they're not doing something special with it, it's just going to get stale.
Exactly.
I'm going to go with Lyra to regain the Intercontinental belt. But to me, Becky is so much better as a heel than as a babyface. What do you guys think?
What if I say she's not good either way? She was great a couple years ago. Yeah, ever since she's come back, though, it's been lackluster from me on either side. It feels like her flipping back and forth is kind of them not even knowing, or them just trying to see which side that she can be, and it's not what it used
Not
to be.
working either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And we get another viewer, and he's got the same name as me. His name is Chris. Chris Wrestling Views. He wants to say, hey, everyone. Thank you, Chris. He's a big wrestling fan for watching the show. Chris, if you're still watching, you have a question for Nikki and Cameron before we wrap this show up, please feel free to put your question. Oh, I guess he put in a comment. He has Becky retaining. He agrees with you both.
We don't like her, but yeah, all right.
Yeah, it has to be done.
I'm looking forward to this match as well. It's Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre, who I think is an awesome heel. I've always liked Drew McIntyre, but I find as a heel he's so much better than as a baby face. And I guess this is what Orton and Jelly Roll versus McIntyre, Logan Paul. And then we have we'll do that match first, and then we'll do the other one in the ticker. But what are your thoughts on Orton and Jelly Roll against McIntyre and Logan Paul, who is probably one of the top heels in the company right now?
Well, he's back in the States. He made it back. Drew made it back. So sorry, Miz. But I'm gonna have to say Randy Orton and Jelly Roll because he's a celebrity, and they're gonna have to let the celebrity win.
Yeah, I've mentioned many a times the cheap cameo effect that we've had. It seems it's kind of funny about how when Jelly Roll is now appearing, we're also seems to get lately all the stories about how Travis Scott's matches kind of spectacularly failed due to him not putting in the work. So hopefully the fact that this one is still on the roster means that Jelly Roll is actually in there doing something. I would love to see like good matches. I would hate to see this trend of them just kind of throwing a name into a throwaway match at any pay-per-view event and just kind of rotating it around without like guest referees. There's so many other ways that you can go through, even if there's slight interferences and things, but don't put them in the ring and then give us a crap match. That being said, I hope Randy Orton and Jelly Roll win.
I think Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre are going to have a feud at some point.
Oh, for sure.
They both have big egos, and I can see those two feuding. I think it would be a good feud.
Oh yeah.
And the other match on my ticker is AJ Styles, who's coming to the end of his career, going against I'm Mr. Hurt all the time, Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental
He has a
belts.
doctor's note. All right.
I love how AJ kept sneaking around, like being different characters in the back. Oh man.
Yeah, the work that Dominic Mysterio right now is doing, the fact that he is so entertaining and hasn't even been in the ring in so long, but is there. I'm so about it. The same thing, kind of what we mentioned earlier. Whatever happens, it's going to end up being, well, that's not fair. I was injured the whole time. And genuinely, with all these injuries, I think that we need to respect the wrestlers and not push them when they are clearly injured. This is dangerous. I don't know how they're not getting sued. Where's
Right.
OSHA? Is this
Exactly?
I think AJ Styles wins this match. I think he gets one more push as an Intercontinental Champion. Dominic Mysterio reminds me of somebody back from the 80s and 90s. You guys probably won't remember him, but the Honky Tonk Man. That's who Dominic Mysterio reminds me of. He has more talent than the Honky Tonk Man, but fans just love to hate him. And I do think Mysterio is got a bright future ahead of him, but I think AJ Styles is going to get that IC title one more time.
I have to say, WrestleMania Night 1, we went to a watch party at WrestleCon, and the Honky Tonk Man and Jeff Lawler were at the bar, like literally sitting right behind us. It's just funny that you brought up Honky Tonk Man. Let's see. On this one, I'm going to have to say Dominic, just because he's Dirty Dom. I don't think he's going to win clean. I think maybe some of the wrestlers from AAA might interfere. And then I think the Judgment Day is going to come out and, might interfere. He's not going to win clean, but I think it's going to be Dominic.
I think Finn Balor's eventually going to get that title.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're setting it up. I think they're going to set it up eventually where Finn Balor becomes a good guy, and I think he gets the title. So I would like to see AJ get it, but I wouldn't be shocked. You're right if Dominic retains, but without cheating at some point.
I have a follow-up question, if you don't mind. With Finn Balor switching to baby, would that lead to the dissolvement of the Judgment Day? Do you think that we're going to lose that then?
Yes, at some point, yes. Yes. And Chris says he's got Orton and Jelly winning, so he agrees with this. And then Chris has got another comment. I'm going with Mysterio. It's planned for him to take the AAA Mega Championship. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, the Mexican group that WWE just acquired.
Okay.
Yeah, Mexican wrestling group.
And then we're getting near the end of the card. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Who do you see this match out? How do you see this matchup playing out?
This one gives me anxiety because I love Karrion Kross and he hasn't renewed his contract yet. And I feel like if Sami Zayn wins, I really don't think Karrion Kross is going to stay longer. I kind of really hope that Karrion Kross wins so it makes him relevant so he can stay and get a new contract.
Cameron?
Karrion's put so many people over that I guess it wouldn't be surprising to see that trend play out again. It would make it boring. So hopefully I'm kind of looking for an upset, even though I do like Sami Zayn as a wrestler. I think, though, he also has many other storylines that he can lend himself to right now that he doesn't necessarily need a belt, as it would help Karrion. But if his contract's unrenewed, I didn't know that piece of information, so I'm going to go Sami Zayn.
I'm going to go with Karrion Kross that wins the match. And Chris says I'd like to see Karrion Kross versus AJ Styles for the title if AJ wins. That's a possibility.
I like that.
I think Karrion Kross could be the one to take down the Judgment Day. Like he, kicks out Finn or does something and then ends up bringing it down. That his evilness kind of trumps their evilness, and that would be a nice storyline to maybe see play out.
Gotta ask you this: is Damian Priest hurt right now? Is that why he's not on this card?
Where has he been? Yeah.
Truth, I think.
He's been gone for too long. He was my favorite. I think maybe they're just holding on to him for the next Puerto Rico match, and that's all. They're just kind of banking him on that from here on out. Maybe you'll see him more with some of the luchador wrestling in the AAA. It's not fair, though. He was, at one point, my favorite member of the Judgment Day before now, obviously, Dirty Don.
And the heavyweight title, he didn't have it long enough. They never gave him a chance to have a run with it.
No.
In my opinion. All right, and then the final match, I believe, I screwed up here. I'll have to fix it up 1 second on the ticker. I'm the graphic guy, so I'll have to get this fixed. Okay, 1 second. Technical difficulties, it happens. All right, we'll have to do it this way. Dexter and Joey, the Wyatt Six against Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, the Street Profits against Frazier and Faxum and Johnny G and Tommaso, or I can't even say some of their names, against Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, the Motor City Machine Guns, in a 6-pack tables, letters, and chair match for the Tag Team Championship. How do you guys see this playing out?
I don't see the Wyatt Six retaining. Honestly, they need someone to focus on. Instead of focusing on every single group, they need to focus on one group. So I kind of wish some other group would win and they be the target. And honestly, I don't know which team would deserves it more. Fraxium's cool. They look cool, I guess. Fraxium.
Michigan. I obviously like the Motor City Machine Guns. Feels, even though they're not from Michigan whatsoever, it is just a name. I'm pretty sure that used to be the male models, right? And then they just rebranded themselves. I would love to see the Wyatt Six. I think they're one of the most interesting groups. Maybe we have a New Day come back. We haven't seen them for a minute, and it'd be cool to get them back in the ring. Montez Ford and D'Angelo Dawkins were also, I think, in the Street Profits were great when they did have the belts, and they seem to bring a lot of energy to the belts when they have them, and kind of get other people more pumped up, and just maybe pull more people to the tag team just events.
Do you see a new wrestler appearing at SummerSlam? Do you see somebody coming out of the woodwork to come to SummerSlam?
A new face, a new celebrity, a new wrestler.
New wrestler.
We haven't seen the Ray Phoenix come back a whole lot. The two brothers, him and Penta, having the WrestleMania appearance together was always really special, and I do think that we're gonna see definitely some of the AAA luchador involvement in this. They've been kind of pushing it a lot, and it's a great, I think, system that they've got going on down there. So I'm sure at some point we'll see some interferences on those, and maybe a familiar face. And then who's going to be in the crowd? The celebrity appearances and all that. That's just, I just fingers crossed, no Travis Scott. If it's Travis Scott, I'll turn off the TV.
I hear that song one more time.
And then we get another comment here. Do you like the Wyatt Six or all the stuff happening between the Lore and Alex Bliss?
Yes, I love it. I live for it.
Making Sister Abigail into a character was really cool. I'm mad that they had to sacrifice Nikki, because I thought that her character was great before. But I do like seeing the Wyatt Six. It's sad almost to me every time I see it. It's a shadow of like what it could be, or kind of like a ghost sticking around. If they do get a run, it's gonna just feel nostalgic, and like it's cool to see, and I do like them. Like, they were one of, like I said, my favorites, but at the same time, it's an in memoriam group almost at this point, and it kind of puts a damper sometimes on it. Sorry to be that guy.
Overall, what are your thoughts on Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, as being the producer and the writer? How do you both feel about the storytelling right now?
The R-Truth stuff was weird. It kind of put me off a bit, especially when he called it a work, and Ron Killings was like, no, it's like you said earlier, like, if as long as Triple H likes you, then you're good.
It's the same as Vince McMahon too.
Yeah.
Politics.
Yeah, and it's really sad, when the politics get involved, and now the politics of wrestling are involving in our actual politics, when Lyndon McMahon is our Secretary of Education currently, and you've got Cody Rhodes and Bianca, singing happy birthday during that military parade that happened to be on the Cheeto's birthday. It put a damper in my mouth, a couple of the things like that, and it's hard to be on that side, or just to see that sort of involvement. I think that he might get a little bit more just flack for what he does versus maybe because before Vince just obviously did something right. So I don't think that anybody could fight him win this. When Paul taking over now, anytime that there's a dip, anytime that there's something happens, you're going to try to blame him. You're going to put a lot on him. Mm-hmm. He's got a different mindset coming from the wrestling background. He's not making all the decisions right, but I also don't think it's not just him either. I think it might have been more so just Vince previously.
Chris from Wrestling Views says Street Profits definitely not winning the title. And then Chris has got another comment. I'm trying to keep up to his comment. Thank you, Chris. I will go with Ray Phoenix. Let's see, which one? I got my glasses on. Adelaide Ray and Ray to win, but I have to say, if I have to pick one, I say the Wyatts. I'm going to go with the Wyatts to win. To retain.
I'd love to see it. It wouldn't bring the energy, I think, to maybe, either way, with all those people in tables, ladders, and chairs, we're just going to see hopefully a lot of stunts and some high flies, and it's going to be fun no matter what. But I don't know if the Wyatt Six retain. it might just be a little stale.
Which match do you feel might be the best match of the entire cards, the 2 days, if you had to pick one?
Bron Breakker match, because he's Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker and Roman Reigns. I think it's going to be huge. I think there's going to, I think there's going to be interference with that one. I really do think Seth's going to come out in that one.
I think I'm most excited to see the Naomi Ripley and Sky match. I think that those ones together, you're going to see some athleticism. It's going to be really, really cool. And then I guess just kind of seeing how the AJ Styles and Dominic Mysterio plays out. I love the entertainment value aspects of it. Is going to be one, the athleticism, and then one is just going to be straight. Whatever happens, I'm sure it'll be fun.
I'm going to go with the Flair Bliss match against Rodriguez and the other lady. I can't remember her name, Roxanne. I think that might be the best match.
And Charlotte Flair as well. Yeah. If we get a Liv Morgan running, sorry.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And Chris has got another comment. Travis Noah The Rock better not come down back on my TV unless he's telling us welcome to WrestleMania or something else. Keep that Rock out of the storylines.
Yeah.
That's right.
You agree with that, Nikki?
I agree with that. I'm still bitter. He stood me up.
And finally, we're going to wrap this up, guys. And I want to say, Cameron, thank you for coming on short notice. And Nikki, I want to say thank you for coming on again. Now you're only two appearances behind Cameron. So
catching up slowly, slowly but surely.
Just since this is John Cena's career is coming to the end, just assessment on Cena's career, and do you feel Cena has impacted the WWE as much as the late Terry Bollea, Hulk Hogan did? And what will you remember the most about John Cena and his career?
Yeah, I do. Go ahead.
I think that John has a chance to have a better legacy than Hulk. The more time that goes on. I know my younger brothers, John Cena has a reach. He also, I think, has done a better job, as many other many other wrestlers have done at this point, where he's transcended wrestling. Hulk will always go down as a great wrestler. People love John Cena as the Peacemaker, as the superhero movies and some of these comedic roles that he's done. Ricky Stenicki, if you haven't seen it, go watch that movie right now. It is absolutely amazing. So I think that the legacy that he has, he's got the power to be a bigger star. Will he be a bigger wrestler, or will he bring all the things that Hulk brought to wrestling? No, not necessarily. But if he also doesn't end up being racist, then he ends up being a better legacy at the end of the day.
Exactly.
George Brown, who's watching from the St. Louis area, has another comment. He thinks the 2-day premium live events is too much. It's much more of a money grab.
100% is.
Yeah.
It leads way into more of those cameos or cheap matches and things where not even cheap matches, just with a large roster, that tables, ladders, and chair match. We probably wouldn't have it if it was a one-day event, but the fact that we get, so much time with it, it's just filler at this point. I like filler, I've got no problem with filler, but I can also understand where if I'm buying tickets, I'd rather have a great one night of SummerSlam now than have to pick, what night I like better and what cards and whatnot. And that, as a fan, that aspect sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, as we wrap this up, Nikki and Cameron, what are some fun facts about yourself and about the WWE that the audience might not know about you?
I'm opening for Mick Foley next week. West Chicago, Indianapolis, and the Hobart Inn. I will be there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, here in August 6th, 7th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. I've been a part of the 40 Years of Foley, this tour, a couple different times. So this will be my over 10th time now opening for him. Having a hardcore legend like in my contacts is by far the coolest and funnest fact that I have about me.
I can't top that at all. Fun fact, I don't know. I'm going to WrestleMania again. It's okay. We're having this big trip planned for next June that I'm going to Florida. My dad passed away a few months ago, and he wanted to be buried. Yeah, he wanted to be buried in a specific cemetery in Florida. So we're going. We have this big trip. I have like family members coming in from out of state, actually from Michigan. We're all going to meet down there, get an Airbnb, and just spend a week in Florida. We've been looking forward to that. And then they come out and say, oh yeah, it's going to be in Las Vegas for WrestleMania 42. So I kind of have to make that trip too. So I don't know. It's just kind of like coordinating everything, planning everything. I think 2026 is going to be a busy year for me.
Shattered Hawks' awesome episode. Well, thank you. It's guests that make the show. I'm just the host. These two are why people are watching tonight. And I want to say thank you both. Do you guys have a question for the host CDP?
Who's your favorite current wrestler on the roster?
Currently, jeez, you're putting me on the spot.
You had to have known it was coming.
It's not Cody Rhodes. I respect Cody Rhodes, but I guess it would be. I guess I'm going to go with the old school guys since I'm 53. I'm going to go with John Cena and CM Punk, the old timers.
That's great.
And Chris was saying, as I told Nikki, what if Seth cashes in on Cena on last night, which would be more likely at Saturday night's main event?
Oh, on the last night Cena is there? Like, isn't that in December?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do think Cena will retain the title, but I don't know how much longer.
Yeah. I kind of want to see him go babyface before he leaves. And just for the rest of the time, he's just like, goes to each town and's like, I'm sorry.
He deserves the love.
Yeah.
Finally, where can my audience follow you both on social media, your websites if you have them, and obviously, Nikki, you're going to WrestleMania 42. Cameron, are you got any more plans to go to more wrestling events this year?
So the Hulk tribute in Monday Night Raw just happened at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, and I unfortunately did miss that one. I don't have anything for the rest now of 2026, but like I just said, I will be seeing my favorite WWE hardcore legend of all time and hanging out for him for a couple days here in West Chicago, and then I'll see him again in Michigan, and we've got a couple more shows. That being said, you can follow those shows and follow me on social media at Spam Like Cam or Cameron K on just about anything. I'm posting my comedy. I occasionally go to comic conventions and all sorts of things. My cosplays are nowhere close to Nikki's, but I do try.
For me, it's WWE Cosplay Girl. Oh gosh, I don't even remember my TikTok handle, but yeah, it's WWE Cosplay Girl. We search that. I'm sure I'll come up.
I've got them down on the ticker here as well. But I want to say, Nikki, thank you so much. And Cameron, thank you for coming on, especially on short notice. Because when I booked Nikki, I'm like, hey, maybe Cameron might have a few minutes to come on because it was going to be a WWE event. And I'm like, you two love the wrestling as much as anybody. And I'm glad you both were able to connect on here. And both of you have open invites to come back on my show again in the future.
Nice.
Thank you so much. Right. Lions season starts soon. I will see you soon.
Absolutely. And the Lions take on the Eagles this year at Lincoln Financial Field. So go Birds. But hey, I want to say thank you so much, Womankind, a.k.a. Cameron K, for coming on. And Nikki, thank you so much for coming on here. Next time you come on, you're going to have to wear that Bron jacket.
Yes, I'll wear the Bron Breakker jacket.
And the hat, too.
And the hat, okay.
Nah, I'm just kidding. But thank you so much.
My husband wants to make it for me. I'm like, oh, there's no way. And I know next time I'm going to see Bron Breakker, he's like, no, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Well, I want to say thank you so much to you both for coming on here. And enjoy SummerSlam Saturday, Sunday. Oh, Mr. Socko, or Miss, should I say Miss Socko?
Yeah.
Now you're gonna have to do one with Niki, a Niki Socko.
Yeah, right? I was like double hand.
Definitely, but I hope you guys both have a great night, a great weekend, and please keep in contact with me, and I will send you the video, the audio, and some reels and clip. And I'm looking forward to SummerSlam this Saturday and Sunday, starting at what 7 o'clock on Netflix, if I'm correct.
Sounds right.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right. Well, Nikki, Cameron, thank you so much for coming on, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good night,
Thank
guys, and
you.
enjoy SummerSlam. As Billy Red Lions here in Canada used to say, don't you dare miss it.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank
you.
you so much, Cameron. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you so much again, Nikki, for coming on.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
How did you, before I let you leave, how did you like Cameron?
Oh, she is awesome. I actually followed her on Instagram when you told me about her. And yeah, I think she actually was in Utah, I think just like a few months ago on a trip. And I'm like, oh, I know where that's at. I know where she's at.
She's a terrific young stand-up comedian, and she's
Yeah.
really passionate about the WWE. And thank you for letting me bring her on
Yeah.
tonight as a guest. I thought it was great to have both of you on and connect you guys and talk a little about the WWE as well.
Yeah, she was awesome.
That's awesome. Well, I'm going to let you go because I'm going to wrap up this show, but I hope you have a great night, great weekend, and
Yep.
enjoy the SummerSlam. And I will send you the video and the audio and some reels and clips tonight. It might be a little bit later tonight. I'm going to go for a walk for a half an hour because I got to move my legs. But I had a great time with you and Cameron, and thank you so much, Nikki.
Oh, thank you. Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys, that concludes season 11, episode 16, overall 566 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out their website, barrycullen.com, for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, along with their great selection of all-electric vehicles and Cadillac vehicles as well. You can call the dealership at 519-824-0210. Tell them Chris Pomey sent you, or you can email them at info@barrycullen.com. Before we wrap up this show, guys, the next Argo Bounce podcast show, episode 7, with producer and co-host Chris Pomey and Nick Small, is going to be Friday, August 1st at 7 p.m., which is tomorrow. And Nick and I are going to do a pregame podcast, and we're going to talk about the Argo 31-17 win last Saturday against Winnipeg at BMO Field, and we're going to preview the Argos Winnipeg game, which is on Friday night at 8:30. So if you're a fan of the Toronto Argonauts Canadian Football League, check out the Argo Balance podcast show with Nick Small and myself, 7 o'clock Eastern tomorrow, and Nick and I were going to break down the Argos Bombers game in Toronto and the one coming up at Princess Auto Stadium tomorrow night at 8:30. So check us out, and we're going to be on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, Instagram, and on all major audio platforms as well. And that's about it for tonight, guys. Again, SummerSlam 2025 will take place this Saturday, August 2nd, and Sunday, August 3rd at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. You can catch SummerSlam on Netflix, and I hope everybody enjoyed this show tonight, which was brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership here in Guelph. And before I wrap the show up, guys, if you're looking to adopt a pet and you're in the Cambridge area, check out the Cambridge District Humane Society at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge, Ontario. Telephone number 519-623-7722, extension 0, or check out their website, cambridgehumanesociety.org. All the pets that are up for adoption, their websites are through Cambridge, their profiles are on cambridgehumanesociety.org. And that is about it for tonight, guys. Again, I want to say thank you to Niki Whitehorse, her 4th appearance on our show. Niki Whitehorse's 2nd appearance on our show. And Cameron Kay, a stand-up comedian out of Michigan, her 4th appearance on our show. And really enjoyed talking to both of them about the WWE and a little bit about the late, great Hulk Hogan and this year's SummerSlam as well. I hope everybody has a great evening, great weekend, and we'll see you back here tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for the Argo Bounce podcast show with Nick Small and myself. And I want to say thank you to everyone watching this live stream tonight and for your great comments. And thank you to everyone listening this on audio platforms as well. I hope everybody has a great night, and we'll see you back here tomorrow night for the Argo Bounce show with Nick Small at 7 o'clock. Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show will return on Monday, August 4th at 7 o'clock with my special guest, D. Nicole Newman. She's in public relations and marketing for her own company called D. Nicole Newman's company. And she's also a talk show host of Testimonial Fridays, which she does on Fridays on Instagram as well. So D. Nicole Newman is my next guest this Monday, August 4th at 7 o'clock. And I'm working on more guests and more shows for next week. I'm always working, and I love doing this show. And thank you to everyone for watching and listening to Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet dealership here in Guelph. Have a good night, everyone, and we'll see you here tomorrow night at 7 for the Argo Bounce podcast show.